guys, welcome back to my channel. It's definitely been a while, but I figured what better time to start posting workouts than right now. So for my first workout of the Quarantine Glow Up series, I figured we could start with a body weight only workout. All you'll need is yourself, maybe a mat for when we get on the floor, or if you have a carpet, that works too. And aside from that, you don't need anything. You can optional add a mini band above your knees for certain parts of the workout if you want a little more of a challenge, but aside from that, you're good to go. So let's get started.
Don't you wanna dance with me? No, I could dance like Michael Jackson.
So for our first exercise, of course, you guessed it, we'll be doing bodyweight squats for 20 reps. I like to stand with my feet a little bit further than hip width distance apart. And you want to think about sitting back as if you're sitting into a chair. And if you'd like to make this just a little bit more active, you can extend your arms forward like I'm doing here. Next up, we'll be going straight into alternating reverse lunges. We'll be here for 16 reps, 8 on each side. And when you're doing these, be sure to keep your knee aligned over your ankle on your working leg. Next up is plank walkouts. You want to start in standing, hinge at your hips until your hands are touching the floor, and then walk out into a high plank. Be sure to draw your navel in towards your spine to keep your core engaged. And if you'd like to make this even more dynamic, you can also add a little glute squeeze at the top. Next up, we're going to come down to the floor for plank shoulder pull-throughs. You're going to want your knees aligned under your hips, and then we're going to press up, bringing our knees off the ground, and rotating through the core, you're going to pull your arm up to shoulder level. Next up is plie squats with a calf raise. You want your feet wider than hip width distance apart with your toes pointed outwards towards the corners of the room. And this is going to be a deep squat coming down, and then slow and controlled all the way up. You're going to go up onto your tippy toes for the calf raise. And as you can see, after a few reps, I decided to add the dancer's arms in just to make this a little bit more difficult, to test my balance a little bit more and make it more dynamic. Next up is balanced deadlifts. You want to really think about pushing through all 4 corners of your working leg's foot and hinging backwards at your hips as you reach forward and create a long line with your body. This is the exact same, mechanics as a deadlift, which is why we're performing it here with body weight. And if you do need to hold on to something for support, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to grab a wall or a couch. And don't worry about being perfect here. It's okay to shake, it's okay to tip over, but just really focus on making this a slow and controlled movement. Next up, you're going to start in a high plank position and then jump those feet forwards until they meet your hands. And then you're going to come up into a low squat hold for 1 second and then shoot those feet back into high plank. Okay guys, now is the time to either grab your yoga mat or move on over to where there's a carpet, because we are going to be taking it down to the floor now. And if you'd like, you can also grab a booty band now. That's optional, and go ahead and slide that up and over your knees. We're going to come down laying flat on the ground and go straight into glute bridges. You want to think about pushing up through your heels and squeezing those glutes at the top And you'll also want to keep your chin slightly tucked forward and your eyes forward as well. And last up, we have flutter kicks. So staying on your back, you're just going to straighten your legs and raise them and bring them to about 45 degrees and then begin kicking them back and forth in a scissor-like motion. Be sure to draw your navel in towards your spine and keep your back flat and neutral against the mat. You don't want there to be any arch or space between your back and the mat. You want to keep it nice and flat. All right, guys, that concludes today's workout. That was the circuit 1 time through. For a total workout, I would recommend performing the circuit 3 times and maybe even 4 or 5 times, depending on how advanced you are, how much time you have, and how much of an intensity you would like your workout to have. I performed the circuit 3 times through, and it took me just over 30 minutes. And according to my Apple Watch, I burned around 350 calories. So basically 30 minutes, 300 or more calories. This is a killer workout you can do anywhere with no equipment. So I hope you guys love it. I will be posting weekly workouts now for that quarantine glow up. So please subscribe. That way you don't miss any more workouts. And I will see you guys next time.